Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Really Feminine Podcast. My name is Carla, and I am so excited to be back with you guys today because today we have a very special guest that I'm going to introduce you to in just a few moments. But welcome my cousin and my co-host, Michelle.
Hello.
Before we get started, I want to remind you of a nonprofit I founded almost 10 years ago called Bochis.org. I'd love for you to go check that out. I started in this world restoring women who have been rescued out of sex trafficking and domestic violence. I am a firm believer that women can come back from any situation they've been in. And I'm going to talk to you more about that on the end of the podcast, but please go check us out, Bochis.org. We'd love for you to come be a part of helping give hope and healing and new life to these beautiful women that I call the Navy SEALs. They're the ones that have overcome it all. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to Alyssa. I'm going to read a little introduction only because I want to get everything right, but then I'm going to tell you how I feel about her personally. But first, I'm excited to be having Alyssa here with us. She's truly one of those people that instantly makes you feel inspired. If you're watching this, I want you to go follow her like right now. If you're a mom of littles, if you're a wife, new wife, old wife, she's just going to inspire you. And she literally makes you feel like you just want to cozy up with a warm cup of coffee and a blanket. And that's how I feel because I'm the cozy queen. Alyssa makes me feel like I got to stop what I'm doing and go get myself a little cup of coffee. Alyssa is a content creator. She's a wife and a proud mom to 3 adorable children. She pours her heart into everything she does, and it shows. You will see that on her day-to-day stories and reels, not just in her work, but also the way she lives. She has a deep love for her family and has completely transformed their health and her home through her commitment to clean eating. And you'll hear me say this 100 times, intentional living. If you're not intentional, life will go by and you won't live properly. I love that she's not about perfection. Come on, somebody. But she's about making choices that nurture and serve the people that she loves the most. Whether it's creating a nourishing meal, spending time with her kids, or showing up as a wife, Alyssa approaches it all with grace, purpose, and a beautiful feminine touch. And you know, friends, we're all about the feminine touch. Okay. I'm excited to hear from her today. She has a gift for bringing warmth and intention into every part of her life and into life. And I know you're going to walk away from this conversation feeling so inspired and encouraged. So now my personal touch, I met Alyssa during my fight when I was in the nonprofit in Bochis. She invited me to speak at an event to talk about sex trafficking and on a event she was doing, and we've become fast friends since then. And I have said this lovingly, I'm praying an Alyssa into my son's life because I'm like, if I could just, God, that's the wife I've been talking about to you for 25 years. This is her. So without further ado, welcome Alyssa. How about that introduction?
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm like almost cried. That was so nice.
So much expectation on
I know.
that.
I'm like, whoa, no pressure.
I need to meet this girl.
Thank you
I'm so
much.
happy that you said yes.
Yes.
I was just telling Alyssa, we have a lot coming up in the future that I'd like for her to be part of. So you guys are going to get to enjoy her more on our outlets in the future. But for now, I really want people to go follow you because you inspire me and I don't have littles.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. And thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with y'all.
Absolutely. You did a fun show with us over the holidays.
Yes.
And you taught us some really fun, yummy drinks that I still use to make. So I'm going to start. We have some questions for you. And the reason we are doing questions is because we want to be super intentional to follow and get as much out of you for our community as we can.
Okay.
We're going to extract it all.
That's
but
great.
first, I want to tell everybody listening, right before we started filming, Alyssa started talking about ADHD. And she said, I love the podcast you did with your son. And that opened up a conversation that we did not have on our questions. But I want you to hear from her about her walk with ADHD and how she sees the similarities in her son and how she's fixing it for her in her family and her son naturally. Yes. And I want everyone to hear about that. So we're going to come back to that.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to talk about it. It's like a big deal in our life right now.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal in everybody's life because, you know, I feel like we we see it as a disability, and it really is an ability. I think it's a superpower.
Absolutely.
And I kind of wish everybody had ADHD.
Yeah.
I think we'd be a really rocking world.
Oh, yeah. All the best ideas.
All the best ideas of creativity, the fun. So before we even get started, and Alyssa, you can speak to this, but you've watched our podcast back.
Yes.
This is my home. And I grew up with my aunts and my mom and my grandmother sitting around a table just like that. And you know, understand when I say with the chisme.
Oh, yeah.
It was one big serving of chisme. Those that don't know what that means, that's like gossip.
Yeah. But the good kind.
The good kind.
It's fine.
All the news around the family. So I have my dogs here with me. This is how I flow. I am not trying to be professional. This is my home. My dogs are a big part of my life. You might hear them snoring. You might hear them barking. You might hear them click, click, click. It's totally my normal. So that's what you're going to hear in the background.
I love it.
And I love that you said, oh, that just made it feel
I
so.
know. It's so relaxing. It's like a little noise machine right next to me. I love it. It's soothing. It's cute.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and the season that you're in right now in your life.
Okay. Well, my name's Alyssa. I've been married to my husband for 11 years, which is insane to say because I know everybody says that like as you get older, time goes quicker, but it really does. Not that I'm old, but I'm older. So
How old are you?
I'm 35.
I know it's inappropriate to ask that in the old days, but I don't care anymore.
No, I don't mind.
I think it's a
like
great thing. It's a badge of honor.
I do. I love my birthday. I'm actually, maybe I'll have a birthday where it hits me in a different way, but so far, I love my birthday.
Yeah,
I'm like very pumped. I'm very excited. We do the birthday week. You know, I'm not afraid to age. So
that's amazing.
Because sometimes, you know, when you're younger, you think like, oh, well, my 20s are going to be the best thing. No. My 30s have been the best of my life. And so I'm thinking my 40s are going to be even better. My 50s are going to be even better. Like, I'm ready.
It just keeps on getting better.
It does keep on getting better.
I just feel like I feel more free in my 30s. You know, I just feel more free. I feel more myself. I love it. So I'm good. I'm like excited. I'm like, yes.
Brain 60. Let's go.
I know. We're gonna rock it. So yeah. So okay. So I've been married for 11 years. I have 3 children. I homeschool, which I never thought I'd do, but I love it. It's like the joy of my life. If I talk about it, I'll cry. So we don't have to. Okay. But I just think it's like if you would have told me when I was in college, like, you're going to get married and you're going to homeschool your children, I probably would have laughed at you because my idea of, I think, what a woman was back then was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just from society and growing up and the people I looked up to.
What was your idea of women?
Well, I had this, and I feel that I am extremely strong. I'm extremely independent in certain ways. But I think back then I looked down on somebody that was a stay-at-home mom, somebody that, you know, if someone would have said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And someone around me said, oh, I want to be a mom. I'd have been like,
yeah,
wow. Yeah. That's your ambition. You know, like that's just me being honest.
Yeah,
now it's not the same thing at all.
Right.
I actually get really excited when my daughter says she wants to have kids. She's like, I can't wait to be a mom. I'm like,
oh my God, that's the greatest compliment ever.
Because it doesn't have to be separate. Like you can have all your dreams and there's times for everything and seasons. But
so good.
But yeah, so even once I was married and had kids, I still would have said I can homeschool my kids. Like there's no way I can do that.
My kids would still be in 5th grade if I homeschooled them at age 30.
What made you decide to homeschool?
Well, okay, so I think 2020 was definitely a nice little push, but I had them enrolled, or Aria, she was 4, I think. She was in pre-K 3, and I just couldn't handle the idea that I was dropping them off with someone and leaving them somewhere where they were going to be with them more than they were with me. And it was just like this nag that I had, and I felt like I was losing something. Like I was losing, and this is my best friend sends her kids to an amazing school. I have no issue with that whatsoever. So when I say that,
it was just on you.
It was just on me. And my husband and I, we're entrepreneurs. We have our own business. Like the whole reason that we do that is so we can be with our kids. And with our lifestyle, I mean, you know, you have days where you're working like crazy and then those pockets of time where you're off.
Right.
And our life is sort of spontaneous. And I love that. And I just thought, you know, if we go to school, like, where's all that going to land? This like adventurous thing that we kind of had going isn't going to work. And so I think it was I just wanted them with me. And you talk about having your fingerprints on your children.
Fingerprints on your own children, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't feel that more deeply. And so, and especially nowadays, because when I was younger, I feel like I was in a lot of things, but now everyone's in a lot of things. Like I think kids are gone from like 6 in the morning until sometimes 7 at night. And then there's a million games on the weekend. And all of a sudden, like your time is like this much. And so if you're not being super intentional with your time, which I think is totally possible, I wanted to be that person. And looking back now, I know it was the Lord because as we talked about a little bit with the ADHD thing, all of my kids learn so differently.
Yep, that's right.
And we all as people learn so differently.
Right.
And my kids are really creative and obviously they're amazing.
Right.
So I just love
Right.
that I'm the one that gets the front seat and I'm the one that can like call things out in them and things that they love and push them into what they, you know, push them when they need to and hold back when they need to. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to love your kids like you do.
That's
Nobody
right.
sees them the same. Nobody believes in them the same. And my sons, that'll be your whole life, okay? I'm your number one fan. My daughter's my best friend. My boys, I'm like, oh God.
I'm your number one fan. Never
I'm
leave
your number
me.
one fan. I know. Oh
So
my God.
tell me about your growing up and how did that shape kind of who you've become? Like, where did you grow up and what was your family like and how did that shape? How do you think that shaped what you are today?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things to say. But okay, so I grew up in San Antonio. I love San Antonio.
And you're Mexican
I
or Mexican
am.
American?
I'm Mexican. Well, Mexican American. So I'm half Mexican, half. My mom is like white.
And your dad's Mexican.
My dad's Mexican.
Same,
yeah.
same with me, but opposite.
Yeah.
My mom's Mexican. My dad's white.
Yeah. And so I love my family. And if you're from San Antonio, everyone's Mexican.
Everyone's
like
Mexican.
even if you're
So my Del Rio is just 2.5 hours southwest of San Antonio.
I've been once.
So that's where I just got my grandmother's house. So that's
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love San Antonio though. That was our escape from the mundane to the city when we had to go shopping.
That's awesome. Well, and it's so great now. They have the best food in the world and it's just a party. So I feel like so much of that is who I am. Like I love San Antonio. It's my favorite city. And I think it's because we know how to celebrate.
Come on, that's
so
right.
much.
That's
And
the
if
Mexican culture.
That's
Yep.
the Mexican culture.
Any reason to get together with a
Yes.
barbecue.
And I think it's so good because life is beautiful. And
That's right. Come on.
Yeah, because people be like, why do you celebrate so much?
What?
Birthday's one day. Like, oh my God. Like, you know what? I love my life. Okay. And I'm really thankful for it. Plus, Jesus died to give us life. Hello.
That's right.
So, yeah, girl,
not
celebrate.
to give us stress.
I know.
And worry.
Yeah.
And
I love
fear.
It. And fear.
Yeah.
So San Antonio, I love it. My family's amazing. My grandmother, my dad's mom, she passed away a year and a half ago, but she was like my hero. I love her like crazy. She was just like the epitome of strength to me. You know, she was like the matriarch of our family.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways that I see in my own life where I aspire to be like her without
Come
even
on.
knowing that
That's
it was
good.
like that.
That's good. Same with me and my grandmother.
Yeah, I just adore her. And my mother, my mom and dad, which I talk to my parents every day. We're like this. I love my parents, but they did get divorced when I was young. And so one of the things about my mom that's kind of shaped the way that I feel like I think and approach life in general is when they were still married, they took me to daycare for like a very short amount of time. She had a great job. She was an accountant. And she picked me up one day and she had a hard time. Same with me, like leaving me there. Like, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
And I guess, when your baby's been crying and they've been crying for a
Oh
long
my God,
time.
stop.
Well, she picked me up and I was like a disaster. Like, look, I had been like, I couldn't breathe. It was terrible. And she was like, that's it. I mean, she quit her job and she decided to start her own business. And this was back when it wasn't cool and we didn't have Instagram. To be like, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, as if people know what that means.
Yeah.
I always laugh. I'm like, it is not as cool as people think.
No, in those days, you were totally scorned to be a stay-at-home mom. Yeah.
And so she started her own business. And even through the divorce, like she kept it and she did what she had to do. And so I think my whole life I've always had this idea of like, well, we'll figure it out. It's like in your podcast with your son, he said it's not like, it's how are we going to do it? Like there is no like
if
other.
we should, it's how we're going to do it.
Like we always figure it out. So I feel like even with my decision to homeschool my kids, how we started our own business, my husband and I mean, I started real estate when my daughter was 6 months old because I saw my mom say like, I can't sacrifice this.
That's right.
So I'm going to figure out how to make it work.
That's
and
right.
like that grit, I love that. So I feel like that has shaped a lot of who I am as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as a mother.
So let me ask you, if there's a mom listening right now who's a working mom and is really trying to act like she loves working, and there are some moms that just want their kids to be dropped off and they need, one of my friends said, I am a better working mom than I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm better with my kids only from 6 p.m. to bedtime. That is fine. That's a personal choice. I don't relate with that, but that's a personal choice. What would you say just on that subject to a mom who's listening, who is like, I hate that I have to work. I want to be at home with my kids. But I just don't know how to make that happen.
Yeah, that's hard. So first I would say that I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
a really tough thing to hold.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're a single mom, like I understand
Single
it
moms,
is
yeah,
really
it's
difficult.
almost not an option if
Yeah.
you're a single mom.
I mean, I would say thankfully, like if you're
Unless,
asking
hold on,
me-
let me correct myself. Unless you look into a business at home.
Yes, that's what
Like,
I was going to say.
you can be a
Like,
business at
you
home.
can
Yeah.
absolutely work from home. And I
Yeah.
think I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
I was in real estate and my husband and I tag teamed and I worked for the first 5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you're asking me on a level of like, let me help you figure this out, I would say maybe start exploring some other options and thinking
Yeah.
outside the box. I think one of the best things that we can do is kind of sometimes change our perspective because I think at times we feel stuck. Like I'm in this situation, I have no other choice, but we always have a choice.
We always have
And
a choice.
So, and again, I'm not saying someone's situation couldn't be difficult or that it wouldn't be a hard thing to come, like a hurdle to cross. But I do think that when you start looking at it from how can I make this work for us, if your goal is to be home with your children and that's like the feeling that you have and you can't, you're like, I need to make this work, start exploring. There are so many work from home jobs. I know so many people that do that. They work in the evenings.
Yep.
Or some people homeschool their kids. If that's people work full time and homeschool their kids on weekends. I mean,
Right.
there's just
Right.
so many options nowadays
Right.
that I think if that's something someone's really passionate about, go
Well,
for it.
and I actually, same thing as you. I didn't homeschool my kids, but I stayed home with them and we ran our roofing business.
Yeah.
Your husband has a roofing business
yeah.
too. We ran our roofing business out of our home for I don't even know how many years. We've been in business 35 years now, but
Amazing.
my husband, I was highly entrepreneur, highly driven,
Yeah.
highly like pushing. And he was like, you working is not an option. And let me tell you, for moms that are listening, I had to exchange my lifestyle for staying at home in those early days because we didn't know. Back in the 90s, there was not like a whole big push on staying at home. It was
Right.
like get in your office and work
Oh, yeah.
in an office. So just to speak to that for moms listening, we just said it's not an option. And we were broke as all get out back in those days. Not poor. Poor is a state of mind.
Yeah.
Broke is just a temporary situation. And then I started actually making, do you remember I made sweatshirts? I used to hand paint sweatshirts and sell them to make money.
amazing.
And then anything I could do at home.
You had your nail salon.
I had my nail salon because I used to be a hairdresser and a nail tech before all the salons came in. Yeah, that were Vietnamese and Korean. I did nails, I did makeup, and I did hair, but I did it at home. So I would be nursing my son while a customer was walking in the door, and then I would put him down and do the nails and all that. But the thing was, when there's not another option, you find a way.
Yeah.
But if the option is always there, you don't find a way. Right. You have to set an intention to get what you want.
Agreed.
I'm going to tell you, God has a plan that goes beyond your dreams. Your dreams, like one of my friends said, am I dreaming too big? And I said, if your dreams don't scare the living fire out of you, then you're not dreaming big enough.
Yeah.
Because they have to scare you to the point of like, oh, I don't even know if this is possible, because that's whenever you start leaning into God. Yeah. If it's something you can do, then God's just like, okay, well, let me know when you're ready, because I'm going to push you further and I'm going to push you into a place you never knew existed. And so for me, if your dream is to be a stay-at-home mom, you build your life like that.
Yeah.
And you just make it work.
Yeah.
We had to live in a smaller house. I had a very, very used car. I had my kids in my car for a year without air conditioning. Mm-hmm. That's just what we had to do. But yeah. I can't tell you all the material things I had back then or didn't have. I can tell you the impact and the memories I made with my kids.
Yeah.
And my fingerprints were on them.
Yeah, 100%.
And especially in the developmental stages. Like, in the developmental stages, I had to be the one impacting my kids, not some person that hated her job and just barely wanted to be there and was, yelling and screaming at my kids and whatever. So tell me, what does a typical day look like for you guys?
Okay, so a typical day, once we're homeschooling, because we're starting on Monday.
Yeah.
I actually love it. So because of like the whole like ADHD situation, structure is really helpful.
Yeah.
8, okay, my son is about to turn 7. Oh God, I don't want to talk about it. He's my baby. Oh, and he knows it too. I'm like, oh gosh, I cry for like a week before their birthdays. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, okay. So my youngest is about to be 7. My middle child, he's my firstborn son. He's 8, and my daughter's 10.
Okay.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
And we've been homeschooling pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
So fun.
So in my house, structure is great, but like rigid structure.
Okay,
does
let's
not
speak to
work.
that.
So that's like my whole
Let's speak
thing
to
right
all the
now on
A-type
all my
moms
content
listening.
creation.
Yeah.
Like, we call it rhythms and flow in our house.
Come
because
on.
I cannot handle. It's just I crumble. Because I'm busy. I have 7,000 thoughts going on at the same time. And also, if you're a mom, you know, like you can have every intention of I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. today and I'm going to exercise and I'm going to this and that. But your baby wakes up at 5:45 and they're, crying because somebody spilled their snack. And it's just like chaos when your eyes wake up.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that?
Yeah.
It's like, forget that. So in our house, we do like a rhythm. So we have the same flow every single day of what it looks like during our homeschooling days. But it's not, if we don't start at this time, the whole world is falling apart. And for me, it's like less pressure.
Yes,
So I love
because
it.
you set
Yes.
the intention about that.
Yes. And my kids are learning that too, which I really love. They don't have this like freak out thing of like, I got to get here at this time. I have to do this. But it's like, we all know what to do in the morning. And I find when they know what to expect, the better it is. Plus, I know myself and I need chill. I don't work out in the morning. Let me set you free. You don't have to work out in the morning. I am very healthy and I exercise, but it's just not me. Like I need quiet. My brain needs quiet. I like my coffee. And so I set up our days also for myself. So in the morning, the kids have their morning basket. They'll grab their devotional. Everybody has their own. The boys there's like all kinds of stuff for them to do in there. So everybody does that. I can do mine. They do theirs. And listen, sometimes I don't do mine. And it's not about being perfect. But it's about having this like rhythm in place. Yeah, everybody knows what to do. I make my coffee always. But my kids actually, they're so smart. They're like, I want to do all the hard stuff first. So that way I can do all the things I want to do later. So I'm like,
love that.
So like my youngest, my Saya, I'm sorry, my not my youngest, my oldest son. I don't know why I say it like that. But anyways, he gets up with the sun every day. He is like the happiest boy. He's like, Mom, it's morning. He used to do that to me when he was little. He'd be like, Mommy, it's time to wake up. Like at 5:30.
That's so sweet. You're like, oh wait.
Okay, thank you. But he's so sweet. I hope he's always like that. But he'll do his math first because he doesn't enjoy math. He's great at it, but he's like wanting to draw. I mean, oh my gosh, our sons are so similar.
Okay, yeah. So that's
he's like, homeboy is. I go through sketchbooks like a week. It's crazy. Like if I look at his math book, like let's say there's like addition, he has like little monsters with superheroes on the numbers, and there's like a whole situation happening.
Oh my gosh, that was my son, except he did that on his legs and arms.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, and so we do all of the hard stuff first, and then we usually take a break and do chores. I make a giant breakfast. Everybody gets their own snack in the morning, like their own fruit, because I make a big breakfast, but it's like, they're always hungry. So I'm like, okay, this is what you do. This is what mommy does. When we're after this, I make a big breakfast. We go outside and they play. It's very relaxed. I try to keep my mornings until about noon, like sacred. For like, we don't do anything during this time. We do school. It's not rushed. It's not hurried. During the year, so when we start homeschooling, like I don't do play dates during that time. I say no to pretty much any appointments unless it's like really important. But yeah, we're at home. We relax. We do our work in a hopefully non-stressful way. I let the kids run around as much as possible. We do a lot of
that's so important. Oh
YouTube
my gosh,
workouts with the kids.
That's great.
So they can get their wiggles out.
Their wiggles out. Yeah.
And then a lot of the time they're just doing what they enjoy. They help me in the kitchen. We go to the grocery store. They help me make the lists. Like I think one of the things I love about our life is that there's so much actual life learning that's happening in the midst of also learning things. So
because you know what? I can go on tangents about the system that we've been under for, decades, but it's a system that was created to intentionally keep us in a box, keep us on a hamster wheel. And that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But if you understand that system is how our brains were formed from decades and generations back into the 20s and 40s is where it started. But this is what you've described is actually the original way boys should be raised and girls should be raised, because boys being in a classroom for 8 hours with a 30-minute break is completely intentional so that their disruption can be identified as ADHD, then can be medicated to prescription big pharma medication. That keeps them on a cycle, which then sends them into a whole nother direction as adults, which keeps the system being paid, right? So for me, if mothers are listening, we're in a generation right now that the information is vibrant. The information is there. For me, that is the way that young boys should have been raised, is having more time outside. My husband used to push my son outside, help me build this, hold that, you hammer that nail in, like we're building a deck today, or we're gonna go, start a fire. And so my son knows how to do he is a complete Renaissance man. Like he knows how to do everything.
I love it.
You can imagine. He just decided he was going to build a tiny home.
That's awesome.
So he built a tiny home.
That's awesome.
I'm like, me and Simon are like, did you measure that? It's like, I got it. And so, but this is the thing, is that I really give Simon credit for that, because Simon took him out and made him do things all the time outside. And what happens with these boys today, which is where we're seeing so much aggression, so much anger, so many discipline issues, and I'm air quoting because that's what the system calls it, is discipline issues. And they call you in and tell you how bad your son is. We're talking about sons right now, because girls don't get it as bad as boys do. And they get spanked, they get punished, you're being disrespectful, you're talking back, you're this, and they're literally pushed down into a box until they're little robots with their heads down, just following like little robots, and they're not being men, which is why we have the highest generation of people not married today, because women, good, authentic, feminine women cannot find healthy men, and healthy men cannot find feminine women because of the way that we've been in this thing. So I love what you're saying. And I think that moms listening, you need to hear what she's saying. If you need to rewind this video or rewind this audio and listen back to that, because if you're not in charge of your sons, we're going to speak to only sons right now.
Yeah.
If you're not in charge of their freedom, their ability to get out and play, get out and dig, get out and get dirty. That's what I love about my niece, Haley. She is so not freaked out about Brooks just getting in the grind and getting dirty. She's not. Like, I was way worse than her when Michael was little, because I was super like, he's gonna get. And my mom would be like, who cares if he eats dirt?
Yeah.
Who cares? He's fine. He's not going to die.
Build his immune system.
Yes, right. So my mom, I'd pick him up and he hadn't had a bath for 3 days. And, he had like the ring of dirt here and here, and his face was just like gray. His hair was all full of like weeds. And I'm just like, did he go to bed like that? Did you put him in bed like that? He needs to be clean before he goes to bed. That was me as a mom because he was my first. My mom was like, he's fine. I would show up to go on a trip for the weekend with like 2 or 3 sheets to give my mom as his schedule and his snack time and his play time, and don't do this, and make sure he takes, and she would rip it up right in front of me and throw it in the trash. She'd be like, I don't need that, right?
That's hilarious.
She would always do that.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Who or what has been one of your biggest influences in your journey as a woman, wife, and mom?
Okay.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question. It's so hard to answer because I feel like I have so many women in my family specifically that have been, just so influential. But I kind of spoke about her already, my grandmother. A lot of the things I do, like even the fact that I garden and that I have chickens in my backyard, and the way that I love cooking, like I think of her so
I didn't
much.
know you had chickens?
I do. I have chickens.
I want chickens. They're not letting me have chickens in my backyard.
Yes,
I want them
it's
so
so
bad.
good. I love it. I love it. I never thought I would do this, but I love it. And it's again, I love teaching my kids how to do things. I think it's so cool that, I don't know, just all the lessons that you can get from learning to grow things and cook with your hands. But my grandmother, she was just a force of nature. She was like, speaking of feminine, she's soft and she's strong. She's all of these things that just embody grace. She's, I don't know, nurturing, but also like don't come at her, don't come at us because she will show up.
What would you say to women who didn't have that in their background?
I feel so sad when people tell me that they didn't have grandparents.
Or a mom.
Or a mom. Yeah, I feel like that is so hard. However, I think that some of the best things about our generation are what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, what you don't have and what you didn't grow up with, it doesn't mean that you have to be left behind.
Come on.
And I
good.
think that, again, it's how we look at things. Like, okay, yes, I didn't have XYZ and it's terrible. And acknowledging that pain and feeling it and processing, I think is so important, right? We don't bury our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Which I had to learn not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I am Hispanic. So
yeah, right.
There's that.
There's a whole other perspective.
But I mean, okay, so maybe you didn't have these kind of things growing up, but how can we learn about them? How can we meet these people? How can we learn? How can we read books and look at podcasts?
Right.
Look at what you're
Be
doing.
inspired
Open
by
yourself
the
up.
people, yeah,
Yes,
good.
like it's absolutely possible. My mom didn't cook all her meals from scratch, and she didn't do a lot of the things that I do right now. But that's because she had her own business and was raising 4 kids, and
Right.
she did the best that she could with what she had.
Right.
And my life is what it is because of her and what I saw in her. And now I'm doing what she did, plus some other things that I
Right.
want to add to my life, and my
Right.
daughter will do the same. So I think one of the things I love about social media is like I wish, like my biggest dream would be someone to go to my account, and when they look at a reel that I posted, they're like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh my gosh, she felt that way too. Because when I was a young mom, like I always thought it was just me. Like, and I mean, God, it makes me sound old, but social media wasn't what it is now.
Right.
Like, I always
Right.
felt like this is only me. No one
Right.
else is going through this. And
Right.
so that's part of what like drives me even in what we talk about all the time, because it's like, you're not alone. You're not crazy. And you also can enjoy your life. Like, and you also can be happy, and you can have a
Right.
great home and be full of joy, even if you didn't have all the great examples in your life. We all have different histories and different backgrounds, but I think intention and purpose and purposefully looking for what you're trying to find.
Instead
It's
of
important.
looking at what you didn't have, draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
And you start creating that for your
Exactly.
generation and below.
Yeah, it's perspective. I mean, my parents didn't stay married. My marriage is incredible.
Yeah.
It was a line in the sand for me. My husband and I, it's like the number one thing for us. And
Right.
so it doesn't have to be your history doesn't have to define you.
That's right.
But,
Or the lack of, right?
or
Yeah,
the lack
absolutely.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
is hard. I understand and I sympathize. And of course, my mom, she's like a superwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how would you personally define femininity? Oh my gosh.
I know.
Femininity.
In
I know that's
today's
such a hard word
world.
to say.
Yeah. Well, I will repeat that word because I have a hard time saying it too. But yeah, I think feminine looks different for everyone in one way, where I think sometimes if women have a hard time feeling feminine, it's because maybe they look someone like me, who I'm like pink and bows and glitter, and that's me. That's my vibe,
But I want everybody to have that vibe.
I know. But I mean, like, I don't think that has to be your, MO. But I think when we look at feminine, I think of nurturing, I think of softness, but I also think of unyielding strength. I think of courage. I think of that, like, because honestly, when I think of the feminine, I think of like that intense mama bear. This is my home. These are my kids. Nothing's coming here. That like first line of defense. So I think it's strength, but it's also softness. I think they go hand in hand. And it's so beautiful when you see it. That's how I always think of my grandmother that way. Like, she was such a force of nature. Like, talk about mama bear. But also, she was so gentle and soft. And like, again, it doesn't have to be pink, but she loved rose everything. And
Rose?
when she died, I
Oh, I
planted
love-
rose bushes in my backyard. And so I love rose smelling things. Everything was pink and cute and perfect. And I just remember her as this like such strong woman, but then like the pink little flower in the bathroom,
Yeah.
I just love her.
That is so
precious.
precious to
Yeah,
me.
me too.
Has that changed over the years? Has it evolved? Like,
My
Yes.
oh yeah, yes.
So how so?
Okay, so when I was probably in my early 20s, 1, I was a mess. 2, I definitely had a different view of feminine.
What was your view then?
I think, well, maybe not feminine, because I would say it's more towards like the roles of women, more so than feminine, because I've always been super girly. Like, that is never, I've been glitter-tastic my whole
Bows
life.
and everything.
Glitter-tastic.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Yeah. I've been extremely girly all my life. But I think when I was younger, I very much looked down on people that were stay-at-home moms, people that wanted to cook at home. Like, I would roll my eyes. Like, people that took the if you said like the most important thing to you is like the atmosphere of your home, I would have been like, okay, you know, like that's just how I thought at the time because I didn't know any better. And you know, and that's nothing against my mom. Like in her situation, she was mom and dad a lot of times. My dad was very much around, but they weren't together, you know, which is that imbalance in the home that she had to pick up and carry. So there wasn't always, you know, and even in that, like we still had all of those things. But I think as I grew, and I feel like once you have children, everything comes out.
Yeah.
You know,
like
it changes everything and it challenges all the ways that you thought before. And, you know, I think a lot of times we're shaped by what society says, what our favorite musicians think. And I think that that's kind of what I thought. You know, I wanted to be a career woman. I wanted to, even coming home, like I remember the conversation, I'll never forget it, that my husband and I had when I came home full time, like really stopped working.
Yeah.
And because it was like a year of struggling through it. And he finally was like, not angry, but we were having like a talk, you know, he's like, why don't you just come home? And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
He's like, why? I was like, because I can't. He's like, why? I'm like, I'm not supposed to. And he's like, says who? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. But I can't just be a mom. I can't just be at home. And he was like, okay, well, you're going to have to work through that because I think that's obviously what you want to do. You can't, you're halfwaying over here and you're halfwaying over here. We all know your heart's at home. This is what you want to do. Just do it. And it was like, oh, it took everything I had to just say it because I was so attached to this identity of like, if I'm not building something, because I didn't understand at the time, like I'm building my home, you know, like this is it. And I feel like God in his goodness, he's just so merciful because I like laid everything down. You remember? I mean, I had a women's group online. I had a podcast. Was doing those events. Our real estate team was growing. We're at like, the height of it. And I laid everything down. And I felt like, I think I'm making the biggest mistake of my life, but also I really feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. And I look back on that time and I just think like, wow, God, like it says in the Bible that he knows the desires of our heart, but we don't really get sometimes what that means. But my real desire was that I wouldn't miss it. Like I wouldn't miss it. And I was starting to miss it is the thing. I was so busy. I was so focused. I was with my kids all the time, but you can be in a house with people and not really be there.
That's right.
And I was so consistently focused on what I needed to do and clients. And I have so many stories, oh my God, of like being in the closet with a blanket over my head because my kids are crying and my client won't stop calling me and I'm trying to answer the phone. And I mean, the cortisol levels are through the roof. I mean, it was just not, and people would be like, oh my God, you're so amazing because you're doing it all. I'm like,
not really.
Not really.
No, yeah.
I'm falling apart. I'm a disaster. This isn't a place that I don't want my kids to grow up thinking this.
Okay, Alyssa, so this is a great question. I'm so glad we have these questions because this is really going to give some great information. And they're such good questions. What are some small, this key word is small.
Yes.
For me, because I can talk to the big, large ways of bringing femininity into my home and into my life. But I think it's key that women have small but powerful ways that you embrace your femininity every day. See, that's important, especially if you're a busy mom.
Yes.
What are some small ways but powerful ways that you embrace your femininity every day?
Well, okay, let me think for a second. So I love that you said small because that's definitely something, especially in this season of life. Like I think that word is even powerful just so when we think like we don't have to do 1,000 things to make it work.
Right.
We just need to start small. But I think one of the things I think I'm really learning a lot in this season is that softness that we talk about and that feminine, being soft with myself. Because I feel like—
I love that answer.
Thank you. I'm walking this out right now. So,
we're walking it out.
Yeah, but I think the way that we speak to ourselves is so important.
My God, that's so good.
And I feel like I used to think my self-talk was fantastic, you know? And I am so like, oh, you're so wonderful to my children. But with me, like, oh man. And I think, again, this goes back to some of like the ADHD wiring that I have. But I recognized that I was very critical with myself. And I'm not talking about the way that I look or anything like that, because I know that's a whole other topic. I'm talking about how I show up, the fact that my house is always dirty no matter what I do. And finally, my husband one time was like, honey, we live here. You know, like
we need to live here. We don't want a perfect house.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, I'm glad you said perfect, because I think that there was this perfect mom that I was chasing for so long. And I'm not talking about a look thing. I'm talking about this mom in my mind that her house was always clean, that she was always calm and patient, and she smiled patiently, like I'm Hispanic.
That's
Okay,
a
I'm like,
Stepford mom.
let's go.
Yeah. I'm gonna get the chocolate on you, Laura. Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like there was this person I was chasing of being that it doesn't exist and isn't real. And I would say that to anyone. I don't expect anyone I know to be perfect. Not my husband, not my children. But for me, I'm like, oh no, I don't have any grace. So I think part of that, it's like bringing that softness on myself. And that could look like, I literally talk to myself in the mirror. I do. I talk to myself in the mirror. I tell myself that I'm doing a great job. I focus on the things that I'm actually doing. Like I was the type of person who, let's say I have 20 things on my list of things to do and I did 12 of them. I am like pissed that I didn't do the rest.
Well, I'm fired up if I did 3.
I'm like so upset.
I'm giving myself a cookie and a Coke if I got 3 done.
No, but
that check mark is
That's
like
so funny.
power stroke for me. I'm like, hello, I did 3 today.
Yeah, but it was live, and I was like, because and my list is I've got constant. Like it's just overflowing. So I think that's been a big deal, and I think too like. What makes you happy in your home?
See, come on. That's what I always say that.
Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like I can tell you that it's like the joy of my life to go to TJ Maxx or Home Goods, okay, and find me this coffee mug. I just got one with bows on it. And I love that thing so much. I wash it every day, use it in the morning, and I wake up and I make it, and like the smell of the coffee, like nothing's happening. I'm not going and spending $100, but I'm like taking this little bit and I love it. And my kids know it. The house smells like coffee. I put my candle on. Like we do a couple of things, and it just creates this atmosphere of peace in my home. Like,
that's right.
You don't have to spend any money. You can go on YouTube. They've got those like ambiance things for fall. We put them on when we homeschool.
I do that too. That's
jam.
right.
I love it.
And during the winter, I put my fireplace on.
Oh yeah.
I light a candle, bring my coffee,
Yeah.
the whole 9. But I love what you just said, because that's a big, powerful yet small way to embrace that femininity is literally find that thing that makes you so happy.
Yeah.
And I love that you just said that, because I talk about that all the time. If it is fall, go every fall.
Oh yeah.
Spend $10 on yourself.
Yes.
And go buy a fall cup.
Yes.
Every Christmas, go buy yourself a Christmas. Every Easter, every spring, like just, you know what? If you have to give it away after that because you have too many mugs, then give it away.
Yeah. I love it. It's important.
That's so, I'm telling you, that embraces I don't know what it is.
I don't know either, but I love it so much. This morning I was drinking it and I was like, I'm so excited. I think it's in my story. I'm like holding it all goofy all the time. Yeah, I love that. And I think, let's see, you said 3 ways. I had another one. It was there. Let me think.
It came back.
It was there.
While you're thinking, I was going to say to the moms who think that the house needs to be perfect, I wanted to say my kids are grown, 30 and 33 now. But when they were in high school, there were many friends that came over that were solid as a statue of iron with their little paper plate, scared and stiff to death, standing way, way, way away from the living room, trying to eat. And I'd say, why are you not sitting with the kids? Go sit on the couch. And they would say, oh, we're not allowed to bring our food outside of the kitchen. I'm like, hey, well, you're not at home. You're here. No, I get in a lot of trouble if I leave the kitchen with my food. I'm like, you're at my house now, and you can do whatever. Go sit on the couch. That couch is to live on. That couch is to be cleaned. I can clean it. And I'm not going to freak out if you drop something on the floor. I can clean it.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I'm speaking to moms. I don't want my kids to be so abrasive because they're in fear that they're going to. One of my friends said to me, I'll never forget this. It was her husband. Because I came in through the house. Her house was amazing. And I said, oh my God, I love these pillows. And the husband was walking behind me and he goes, good, I'm glad you love them. We're not allowed to sit on any of these couches because we can't mess up the pillows. And he was not happy about it. And he just walked straight through. And I was like, ooh, note to self. And I was a young mom then.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that and it's those things of perfection that we do. We're not trying to do a perfect house for our family. We're trying to do it because we have an insecurity and a fear that somebody's going to judge us if it's not perfect.
Definitely.
Somebody needs to hear that.
Yes.
And so you came in and, I've heard people say this all the time. My house is such a mess. It's one thing to be cluttered and a hoarder and like complete disarray.
Yeah.
dirty.
Like dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty.
That's different.
It's
Yeah.
another thing to just be lived in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Did you think of that third thing? Because if you didn't, we can go to the next question.
Oh, okay. I did.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Tell
Okay.
me.
So, and this is something in our house that I find it very feminine. I don't know if now I'm like, is this feminine? I don't know. But I think, I think that one of the things that I love to do is I create the tradition, like traditions in our family, very small things.
Oh
So
my
like
God, I
very,
love
very
this.
small things. Like for example, here really soon, I'm going to get the kids. We're going to go to Central Market because they get all the pumpkins out. We're going to get our special apple cider that they make. I don't make it. Okay. I don't make it. And on the very first day of
Look at
fall,
this.
we
I
go
want to
out.
come live in your house.
I love
This
this
is
so much.
Oh no, I'm
So
just taking a
cute.
drink because I'm parched. But I want to come live in your house. This sounds like the perfect
Oh,
little.
Thank you. Well, that's my goal. My goal in life, like I joke about this all the time with my husband, but I want my kids when they think of their childhood, just like one little tear. Like they love their life, but it was just so great. Like the memories are so good. All my kids
Okay,
are so
can I just
sentimental.
pause really quick and say this is an intention you've set?
Yes, 100%.
You're building it with the end in mind.
Yes.
And not enough people do that.
Yeah.
When my kids are grown and gone, I want them to remember their childhood and one little tear
Yeah.
comes out. That's building it with the end in mind and with an
Yes.
intention.
Yes.
So you're going to go to Central Market and you're
yeah.
creating a new tradition.
Yeah. And then every morning, like the very first fall morning, I'll tell them like, it's fall. And then we go make our apple cider and we do school outside and we don't do anything. But like these little intentional moments, I think that's what I bring to the table. It's the feminine. It's like this
Come
beautiful,
on, Alyssa,
cozy
I love
thing
this
that
so
they have.
much.
And my husband loves it. My kids love it. And we have so many small things like that aren't expensive, that don't require anything crazy. You don't have to go to Central Market. It's just, there's definitely the best. But
Alyssa's going to be now on the committee to find my son's wife.
I'm on it.
I'm
I'm
going
on
to
it.
put you on the interview committee. No,
Okay.
everybody listening.
I have a
I'm
list of
kidding.
questions.
Okay. Okay. So how do you maintain softness and strength
Mm-hmm.
at the same time in your role as wife, mom, and woman of faith? How do you maintain the strength and the softness at the same time?
That's really good. I mean, one, don't yell at your husband.
No,
Duh. I think because I am not a.
I'm way bad. I
not.
used to be really bad at yelling. I don't do that anymore, but I used to be really bad.
My husband is really awesome too. Like, because I feel like I'm just gonna say this. Like, women. Hang on. Let me make sure. I love my strong husband. That's what I'll say. I
this.
love my strong husband. I love that I wouldn't yell at him because I respect him, like also he wouldn't allow it in the sense, not that he would be like, but he would tell me like, hey, don't speak to me like that. Just like I'll tell him, hey, you don't talk to me like that.
That's
like
good.
we're very upfront with each other and I love that about us. But I think that because some women I'm very leader. I'm very intense. I'm very strong. I got a lot of ideas, but I don't go into our home or our marriage like a tyrant.
Dominating. Yeah.
Definitely not. And I think that I think there's being strong isn't just masculine, I guess is what I would
That's
say.
right.
Being
That's good.
strong. Sometimes strength is just showing up and
That's
being the person that they can be, all of who they are right in front of you,
That's good.
being the person to carry the weight, carry the burdens with grace.
With grace,
you
you
know,
took the
and
word right out of
without
my mouth. With grace.
I think that there's like I always go back to my grandmother. I just think of like my grandfather was in war. There were so many things happening, and she was just like stood the test of time to me. She was like weathered but standing and strong. And I think that even with the softness, like with my children, with my sons, life is life, and people are going to mess up. People are going to make mistakes. People are going to drive you crazy. Your kids are going to annoy you. They're going to break things. Your house is going to get dirty, but it's in those times of like withholding boundaries, but also being kind and loving and connection. Like I say this all the time. It's not about perfection. It's about connection with my kids, with my home, with all of it. It's about connection. It's not about me trying to handle every situation perfectly, because I don't. I don't. Sometimes I snap at them. Sometimes I say something rude, or I'm like, why did I say that? But it's about connecting, going back in those moments of softness and saying, Mommy, you didn't deserve for Mommy to talk to you like that. You know what? I was angry too. And I said something I shouldn't have. I'm learning and I'm growing, but you don't deserve to be spoken to like that, or something,
That's
and
so
making that
good.
connect. Because sometimes I feel like, it can be like generals are constantly speaking.
And that is the potential that we have as women, is to be generals.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm very strong. I've had to learn with intention to not dominate and to allow these comments that pass through under an emotion and not have to react to every single comment. That's been a real exercise for me,
it's
because it
hard.
doesn't come natural.
Oh, yeah.
So anybody that's listening right now and they're very strong and they are really feeling touched by our conversation, by our podcast about being really feminine.
Yeah.
What would you say to that strong woman who wants to be more feminine? Like, how would you give her a place to start? Like in your perspective, where do you start? Because you were strong, I'm strong.
Yeah.
And so I'd love for you to share with people, where do you start? Like, what's the coming out of the gate? How do I just start being feminine?
Yeah. I think one of the best things is to start with, like we talked about a little bit earlier, starting with yourself. Because generally speaking, when you're like that, at least in my experience, and you're super strong and intense, I have a lot of opinions, you know, I'm very like, I don't know. I am intense. But I think starting with yourself, starting with the expectations that you're setting on yourself, because sometimes that general comes out whenever we feel like we're under this intense pressure that no one's actually putting on us, but it's us.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm like the queen of that. Not anymore. I'm working on it. But even now, like these are not things like I'm not perfect. I mess up all the time. Like I'm constantly telling myself like, sometimes I'm like, no one's chasing you. Like, seriously. I'm like, nobody's chasing you to get this done right now. Nobody's on your back. Like, nobody cares. Like, it is crazy.
I'm the same way.
It's so funny. But in those
that
moments,
is going to be a new comment.
Yeah.
Nobody's
I say that
chasing
out loud,
you.
literally out loud to myself. My kids have heard me. I'm like, I'm sorry. Mommy's acting like there's a bear in the house or something. Like, really? It's crazy. But those are the moments where I am like really like intense,
so
you know? And
love it.
and yeah, so I would say like start with that. Start with where you're at. But also sometimes, you know, it's one of those things of trust, I think, especially in marriage. Like if you can't shut your mouth, if you can't not say the thing, why? Like everything is like going back to asking, okay, why am I doing this? Why do I react this way? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel out of control in this moment? Is it because I don't trust what's happening? Because the truth is that there are points in life where it's not about trusting the other person. It's about trusting the Lord and also trusting yourself.
That's right.
And like that's a really hard lesson to learn that I think takes time. But that's where I think I would start first. Because if you feel like, because honestly, I wouldn't say I'm a soft person. That wouldn't be how I would describe myself in the sense that I'm loud, I'm fun, I'm energetic. I wouldn't, when I think of soft, sometimes I think of like quiet, like a little mouth, like because there are women that are like that and they've probably never raised their voice in their life. That is not me.
But
okay?
that's the identity that I grew up with, that's what a feminine woman is. Quiet, meek, in the background, just, kneading dough and milking cows. Like that's the trad wife that we see all over social media, but that's not what feminine is.
No, it's not.
Feminine is strength.
It's an inner strength. It's grace.
It's beautify.
Yes.
It's cultivate. It's compassion.
Yes.
It's nurturing. It is everything that your hand touches brings life.
Yeah.
And that's the overflow of
absolutely.
Of
and I think it goes back to intention. Like again, like sometimes people think of feminine and they think of pink and bows, but hey, like if you're a bright red and orange and yellow, like do your thing, man.
That's
like
right. Make it
light
happen.
it up. Like make
Light
it up awesome.
Baby.
Like it's just being fully you. Like I think the people that are the most beautiful and that are the most magnetic are the people that are being like fully themselves, whether they're goofy or silly or artistic or different or nerdy and all about numbers and they like, patterns and specific, when they're just being fully themselves. I love that about people. I love it. But I think it goes back to intention. For me, like my feminine gift, I believe is like that. I feel like I infuse intention, or I'm trying to, in all the areas of life, whether that's food, the way my house feels. Like if somebody walked into my house and they said, oh, I just feel so relaxed in here, I'd be like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for saying that.
Let me tell you, it is the greatest. Majority of my adult life, I've heard when people walk into my house, my God, it's so peaceful in here.
Oh, what a compliment.
I'm like, that is it. I'm done. Like I've completed my task and we're done.
And I love that that's our responsibility. Like it's not my husband's responsibility. I don't put that on him. It's mine. And I'm not saying that he gets to walk around and be a butt all day or anything. Of course not. And he doesn't. But it's my responsibility and I love it. And like I find so much pride in that. I love making my house a place of joy and fun and the memories. And I like to make it smell good when I cook things.
That's
and I love
femininity
to set the
right
table.
there.
Yeah,
that's
love it.
The spirit of a feminine.
I love it.
Creation of God is that spirit right there. Not it's your turn. It's not mine. If you don't do that first, I'm not going to do that. And
I know.
God, that old personality in me makes me sick. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
What has motherhood taught you about yourself as a woman?
Oh my Lord. I am capable of incredible things, and
That's
I am
good.
so capable of change.
Come on.
Anytime somebody says, like, I hate that stupid saying, like a leopard doesn't change its spots. Get out of here. I am
Oh.
completely different than who I was before.
Same girl.
I am a completely different person. And I think one of the things in our home, in motherhood, and with my kids, is like I'm constantly learning. We're constantly wanting to become better versions of ourselves. We're trying to, we're walking out our life where I want my kids to know that's one of the joys I have in homeschooling them. It's like we're always learning. We're always growing. There's never like a cutoff point, Like I don't care what you want to learn about. I don't care how you want to grow. Like I didn't garden, now I do. I didn't cook and now I do. Like I'm constantly evolving and growing, and that's how I want my kids to feel. And so motherhood has taught me that I can do hard
You can
things.
change, like motherhood will change
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah.
From the
much.
moment the
Definitely.
baby's born.
Yeah, everything
you
changes.
don't even realize it.
I think
Yeah.
we've all
Yeah.
had these ideas of what we're going to be as moms and what we're going to
Oh,
do
yeah.
and not do,
And
and
then
how we're going to raise our kids and how we're not ever going to allow that.
Yeah.
I said that so many times to
Yeah.
other moms until I had my kid, and I was like,
Yeah. It's a whole
oh
different
my
thing.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you balance the responsibilities of motherhood with your passions?
That's a really good question. I
That's
love
a
that.
great
Because you're
question.
so busy.
I
You're
am
busy
busy.
with, motherhood and everything else you have
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
going on. So how do you
It's
balance
true.
it?
Well, first I want to say this because one of the things that kind of gets on my nerves is whenever there's people that are doing things like what we're doing and more, and then you ask them like, how are you doing it all? And they're like, well, I just have really good systems. It's like, no, you have help, or you have this, or you have that, because I will say that, during certain seasons of my life, I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now. And I'm doing what I'm doing now because my children are a little older. I can now tell my 10-year-old, hey, baby, mommy's going to go. I'm going to make videos in my office for about an hour. Y'all, then she loves it, man. She's like more responsible, I feel like, than most adults. She's like, I got it, mama. She's
Yeah.
ready.
Oh,
And
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
she loves to like serve and give snacks, and she's just like me, man.
Oh,
I
she wants
love
to
it.
be you.
She does, and it's so sweet. I'm always like, even if I tell her, no, baby, you're gonna be just like you, she gets sad. She's like, but I want to be like you, mom.
Oh,
I'm like,
my
God.
God,
I know it
that's
won't
such
always
an
be like that,
amazing
obviously,
compliment.
but my kid is. I know everyone's kids are the best, but you'll have to meet my daughter. She's so sweet. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Okay, sorry. So anyways, I can put a movie on and make popcorn. Aria will get everybody settled with snacks, or they'll fold laundry or do something, maybe some chores, and then sit down while I'm making my videos. 5 years ago, I was at home. I was focused on them. I just like to say that because I think that sometimes, especially now with social media and entrepreneurship and all of those things, like, yes, at one point I had 3 kids. I was working full-time in real estate. I was doing things on social media, but I was a disaster, and everything felt like it was falling apart around me. And I was doing the best that I could, but it wasn't going well for me. So I always like to say that because nobody has got it all together perfectly. And and it's okay to ask for help. But I will say that one of the things about this topic is that I think the word balance is I don't use the word balance. It kind of goes back to my whole MO about intention. When I'm working, I'm working. And when I'm at home, I'm at home. And so, for example, yesterday, I filmed 30 videos in my house in 2 hours.
38?
30.
Oh
30.
my God, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a lot. But you know what?
We got to keep
I've
it up.
learned I've learned how to do this because it's kind of one of those things. Again, it's like not, well, I can't because I have kids no, how am I going to make this work? I'm going to make this work by getting all my scripts together, figuring out what I'm going to wear. And do I hate doing those things and being all organized? Actually, yeah, it's really hard for me. It's hard for me to do that. But I get it done. And in that time, my kids were home. They were upstairs. I had to pause it multiple times and be like, you guys, please.
Yeah.
Y'all are so loud.
Yeah.
But we got through it. And as soon as we did, we all celebrated. My kids were so happy. We ate cookies, we were so pumped, and now I'm finished. And so it's like, that's my advice when people say, well, how do I balance motherhood and work? And how do I do this? Well, number one, know the season that you're in, because it's not always your season to do those things. It's not.
That's
Sometimes,
right. I was just going to say the season you're in.
That is so important. It's something.
Because I had my son when I was 22. Jade when I was 25. So I felt like I didn't go to college. I just did an associate's degree, but I missed out on all the college fun and all the things. So when my friends were coming back from college, I already had 2 kids and a full life. But I remember feeling like I wish I could take back those years and not be yearning for what everyone else had.
That's so good.
But when it clicked in my head, I thought, I'm going to bloom where I am planted.
Yeah.
I'm in a season. I need to be the best mom of a kindergartner. So I was plugged into the school, plugged into all the different ways that I could be that in that moment.
Yeah.
And then here I am in my 50s, and I am just starting my, I started my ministry after my kids left home. Now I'm starting, we're moving into the next phase of that. But the season will be there.
Yeah, I agree.
Bloom where you're planted.
100%.
What advice would you give to moms who feel overwhelmed or like they're losing themselves in the chaos, which I think you just answered that.
Yeah.
So let's give one practical step. No, let's give two practical steps
Okay.
to moms who feel completely overwhelmed and they're losing themselves in the chaos. Like, how do you bring that in for you?
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's important we don't lose ourselves in that.
Okay. Two things. One, okay, when it comes to feeling overwhelmed, I know this is going to sound like so basic, but this is something I actually practice. I think I have a reel about it somewhere, but I actually say to myself one thing at a time, because the amount of times that I will walk through my house and literally like I start the dishwasher and then I think, oh, I forgot to put the clothes in the washing machine. So then I go and grab that. And then I see the blanket that's on the floor. Oh, let me fold that really quick. And then I go and I'm like, oh, I didn't turn the candle thing on. Let me do that. And then my kids need me for something. Oh, they need a snack. And all of a sudden I just went to 20 places and I am overwhelmed, but it's because I'm constantly trying to do a million things at once. I think a lot of women don't realize that they're doing that. I even, because I see it in my children, I'm like, hey baby, why are you so frustrated? Well, I'm this, okay, one thing at a time. I say it out loud constantly. My kids hear me all the time. Okay, one thing at a time. Mommy's going to finish the dishwasher before I try to do 15 other, because I'm like, it'll be like 45 minutes later and the dishwasher's open. And I'm like, oh my God, I was doing that, and it would drive me crazy for years. And then, so, it sounds so basic, but a lot of times, if you just take stock of what you're doing, you're just living life most of the time. You don't know what you're doing. So if you start paying attention, okay, what am I actually doing? What are the tasks happening where I'm not finishing? Am I not finishing because I just can't? Or is it this? The other thing that I think is so important is that, because I talk a lot about Spark. I have this whole Spark system that we're going to be talking about more on my content. But I think it's so important that your kids see you enjoying life.
Oh gosh, that's so good.
And the reason I like the word spark is because spark is a moment. It's just one second, one shift in your thoughts, one heart posture that changes, one intention into like, okay, stop. I'm going to be thankful right now. Okay, stop. I'm going to do something I love right now. Like in my 30s, like I love the music I used to listen to again. I read books a lot. I listen to books. I garden. I do things that make me happy. And I think that a lot of times when we say we're losing ourselves in motherhood, for example, I don't generally say that because I love words. Words are so important to me. I don't think that I lost myself in motherhood. I think I lost myself trying to be perfect in motherhood. I think I lost myself trying to have a lifestyle that looked like someone that didn't have children or that looked like somebody that their children were out of the house. And I thought I needed to be this way. And so I was trying so hard. And I was so like, I don't know what's going on, who I am, because I wasn't fully where I was in the moment that I was in. Good. And so I think that those things will change your perspective. I have so many things to say about this because I feel like I wish I knew what I know now when I first started. But hey, that's why we're here, right?
That's right. That's right. And that's a really beautiful point to point out, is that one thing at a time. You could be the most A-type brain and still need to slow down and do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Do you make checklists?
I do.
Daily?
I do, but this is for the people out there. I'm not a planner girl. I love planners, but
I always forget them.
Me too.
I forget them,
and I fill them out, and then I never open it. So I am
You
have like
I had so many
a closet full of like brand new,
and I
with
love
the
planners.
first 2 days.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's me. It's like the first month I'm okay, and then after that, forget it.
Yeah.
I'm an I know this, and this is the other thing. Know yourself. Know yourself. I am an out of sight, out of mind kind of person.
Same. Yeah.
The amount of times that I have gone in my closet and found clothes like they were brand new, I'm like, I didn't even know I had that. I'm shocked because if I don't see it, I don't remember. So I have a big old thing on my fridge, and I write on there. I make notes every day to like get it out of my mind. I don't go back and check that thing. I don't. I try. But if it's really important, I put it on my fridge and I leave. And I hate clutter. Like I hate clutter.
Yeah.
Like me and clutter.
Well, clutter
is different. Yeah.
Clutters our brain.
Yeah. Yes.
And if we have any tendency towards ADHD, it's just like taking a rock around your neck and throwing you into the
because
sea.
I notice everything. Like I'm hyper aware all the time. I have like, and I think they say like a normal person, not normal person, but however the word is supposed, like whatever, neurotypical. It's like 60,000 thoughts a day. Someone with an ADHD type wire brain is 3 times, 4 times more than that. And so I tell my husband, that's what's wrong with me. No.
But you're also adding everyone else's thoughts around you.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, regulate myself and regulate my kids and do all these things at the same time. And then you're constantly interrupted by needs and all these things that come up. It can be really overwhelming, but knowing yourself is really important. Again, back in the day, I would feel so bad that I couldn't use a planner and that I wasn't like this. And I'm like, dude, that's not me. Okay. Yeah. It looks messy, but it's fine. I have to leave it out on the table.
Yep.
So I have it on the fridge, but I make my list and I leave it out on the table. And I hate that it's on the table.
Check it, or do you just like
I do mark it off, but it's not like I do it in order. Like at the end of the day, I do it. And I'm getting to the point where now I intentionally say, I'm so glad I finished this today. Because before I'd be
for
like,
an ADHD brain, because that's me. The checklist is a power move. It's a reward. It activates the reward center of your brain. Yeah. And so going to that I have that little sticky on any surface in my house. You might find my sticky whiteboard. And awesome. I will just do, like yesterday I said, well, we've gotten 2 done out of a whole list by the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? My lists are like 50 things long. My husband, I'm like, I just have to get it all out of my brain.
It's a brain dump.
Yeah, I have to, because it's just always spinning around in there.
Yeah, so I also want to, I just keep feeling this in my spirit. We need to, moms that are listening who have boys and girls like that at home, give them a break.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be so hard on them to be tidy and perfect and clean and have all their things together and make sure everything is, perfectly organized. There's more kids on the planet today with ADHD than there are without. And so don't compare your kids. Well, you're so tidy, but you're not. I mean, my son was just all the time. My daughter, completely organized and tidy. But I always knew that Michael's brain was going to be, he was high-end creative ADHD, but he, to this day, I mean, he gets enough of himself and he cleans up, but then he goes right back to it. But I just want to say to moms, if you're listening and you're relating this, or you're listening to Alyssa and you're thinking, oh my God, that's my daughter, stop beating on your kids about that, because it's not an intentional disobedient behavior. It's not, I've failed as a parent. It is their brain type.
Yeah.
So we just need to move on there. Okay, I have another question. Okay. And what inspired your journey to the home cooked meals, the from scratch, the whole living for your entire family?
I love this question. Okay, because people always think it says, I'm going to talk about my son and his health thing, but actually it started before then. So I was at the kitchen sink complaining. Oh my gosh. I was telling God all the things. I was so mad. It was so unfair. I had to cook dinner. I was blah, blah. And then,
I can so relate
I'm like, oh God, here we go. He's probably like,
you're back complaining again. Oh my God. I just wonder how God feels about that.
Oh gosh, I know. It's probably like, oh gosh. And then I just felt like this, and of course, I always say that I did not hear an audible voice. It was just like this deep thought and feeling in my spirit of like, your attitude sucks. Like, you don't have to, you get to. You have, and it was like all of a sudden I'm doing the dishes and I just felt all these thoughts like, you don't have to, you get to. You have this beautiful kitchen. You're able to be in your house. You can afford groceries. Like, and I'm sitting there complaining. It's my job, and I get to take care of my family's health. And I was like, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah. And it was kind of like, then change your perspective.
That's right.
And so what I did, and because people always ask me this question, well, I don't like cooking. How can I like it? I'm like, well, I didn't either. I didn't know how to do it. So I started watching cooking shows. That's why I started making reels, because I started watching reels from people, and not like the fake ones, like the ones where they were actually cooking. You know what I'm saying? Because like, when you cook, it's messy.
Right.
I'm always like, I remember when I first started, I'm like, why does the kitchen look like this? They don't use these many bowls on the TV, because
I'm doing something wrong.
I know what's happening. And so me and the kids would watch it together, because also this is my trick for parents when they're like, my kids won't eat what I make. Okay, so watch a show, and then we would literally watch one, get so excited, and we'd go to Central Market, pick up all the ingredients, and come back home and make it. And then I started loving it. And then it was wild, because I had never really cooked. I mean, I cooked, but not really. And so I already started making things from scratch. I already started trying to experiment with different things. And I started to enjoy cooking. I remember it was like my birthday. This was like 5 years ago. And I went to Williams-Sonoma and I bought me some special things because, I can't help it. And I was so excited. And I never would have done that before. I'd have been like, why would I go there?
Let me insert right here. This for everybody watching and listening that hates to cook, air quotes. This is a key point right here I want to point out, is going and finding something that makes you happy and just makes you go, oh my God, I love this band.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if it's pink, if it's hot pink, if it's green, blue, white, whatever color you love. Go find a good Dutch oven or cast iron, whatever you love. Find
Yeah.
something that's your favorite, maybe 2 pieces. If it takes you one every other month to get, but make an intention to create around you an environment that you love.
Absolutely.
So that you're not working against the grain and then makes you hate it even more, and declutter that kitchen.
Yeah, I
So you
agree.
have a good workspace.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, you decorate your office
Right.
and make it all fun. Like
Come
I
on,
love
that's
my
so
kitchen. I
good.
love my
Me too.
kitchen.
Me too.
It's like my favorite candles are there. Sometimes I put my favorite show on, like on the background while I'm cooking, or I have like my favorite music or something. I love it. I love it. I make it a place I want to
It's
be.
a vibe. You got to create
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. So I already started loving it. And then we had like a little health scare with my son. And we basically had to go from like, we did eat out still, but I also made food at home, to basically like, we're going on a very restricted diet till we figure out what's going on. You can't eat, 7,000 things, basically no fast food. And I went from like one day to the next. And it was like so many tears. I think I cried every day for like 6 weeks. We had to move out of our house. We lived with my in-laws for a while. That was 4 summers ago now, I think. And it was really rough. But in all of that, I learned about our food. And in that process, it became something more to me than just like eating. It was like, I am in charge of setting the atmosphere of my home. I am in charge of my family's health.
So
Now,
good.
does my husband have to choose for himself when he leaves our house? Of course, and he does. But like my children don't get to. It's on me, and like
Right.
that's actually a responsibility that I take extremely like intense.
That's good.
Because they don't have the choice yet. When they're
Right.
older, it's on them. But for now, like it's my job. So if they're unhealthy, it's because of me.
Right.
And that's just
Yep.
the way it is,
Yep.
So I learned, and the thing is that I like to eat. I like food. I don't eat like a rabbit, I like food that tastes good. And so I
You
learned
make
how to
some
make.
really good stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I
your stuff
do.
inspires me to cook healthier.
Thank you.
And because you give us great ideas.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I just, instead of me
And it
trying to
looks so
think like,
good.
I'm not going to eat any of this anymore, I learned how to make what I love in a better way. That's it. Even with desserts and all of that, I just learned how to make, what I, like the cookies, not cookies. Remember I made you brownies last year?
Oh my God.
My pumpkin brownies. They're so good.
Yeah.
Everything was clean in there. I used dates to make it sweet instead of like refined sugar, and they're great. I make cookies. We eat stuff, and yeah, so I love it. And I feel better. And oh my gosh, going back to the overwhelm question, I feel so overwhelmed. I feel so chaotic. Well, what are you eating? Like, what are you eating every day? Because I can tell you that my body completely changed. I remember when I was 31 crying to God and saying like, is this how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life? Why am I so foggy? Why am I so tired? I feel old. Like, what am I doing? And, about 6 months into our new diet change, even my husband were like, what the heck? I mean, I lost over 30 pounds. I mean, my son was pretty young still, but I had a hard time losing weight after the baby. I was very inflamed. If you look at my photos, I have inflammation everywhere. I was achy, uncomfortable. It all like melted quick, and it never came
Right,
back.
right,
And I
right.
don't eat like I really don't eat like a bird. Okay,
No, you cook
I really
amazing
don't.
stuff.
I eat good food. Okay,
Yeah.
my family eats good, and I don't like miss out. I don't ever feel like I'm missing out on anything. So
So how do
That's
you
great.
make those meals work, nourishing, yummy meals work with your busy schedule?
Okay.
Like, do you plan your menu weekly?
yes to all of that. And okay, so this is one of those things, and people will say, yeah, but I'm so busy. Okay, well, do you want to cook at home? Yes. Do you want to be healthy and make better choices? Yeah. Okay. Well, then you just have to sacrifice a little bit. Like, I hate making a schedule of that kind of thing. And I don't even always stick to it. I've done it so much now that I kind of do
It's
it in
a
my
routine.
head.
Yeah.
But what I do is something called meal stacking. And I actually have like a little thing that I have like a week meal plan that I have for people. But it's basically, so this is my example. So let's say I make grass-fed brown rice spaghetti. I make that. It's so good. I use so much fresh Parmesan cheese. Delicious. Okay. I put it in the sauce, by the way, with the juice from the meat, and it all mixes together. Oh my God, it's so delicious. My mother-in-law taught me that. And
So good.
Yeah. So I make a ton of it. Also, God, kids eat a lot. I'm just going to
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
I'm like,
Wait till they're
what is
teenagers.
happening?
Wait till they're teenagers. Yeah.
Someone tells me. I'm like, they eat so much right now. So anyway, I make a lot, hoping that it's going to last. And then the next day, we'll bring it out and I'll just make chicken. And so the chicken I make, and when I say simple, I mean like I don't use egg or milk. I do a gluten-free breaded gluten-free breaded chicken that I make like chicken Parmesan. But again, in the no, I do it on the stove. Like, so I'm saying it's like so easy. And so I serve that with the spaghetti. So I like stack, but I make enough chicken in that day. So the next day, that chicken I use for club sandwiches. I make homemade ranch, which takes like 2 minutes, and we make like a sourdough chicken club sandwich. So that's 3 meals. And then I'll take some of the spaghetti and use some for lunch, and then maybe make a sandwich for the kids. So it's not that, because I'm not the kind of person that can meal plan and eat the same thing every day. I just can't do it. Like I see those videos on Instagram and I think, good for you, but not for me, you know, like, and my kids, yeah, right. You know, yeah, right.
No, indeed.
My youngest, man, he keeps me humble. He's like, Mom, you made this different. I'm like, boy.
Yeah. But here's the thing. That's why I want people to follow you, because you're constantly putting out great recipes, great ideas, creative ideas on changing that up. And the food looks amazing.
Thank you. It is really good. And I'm Hispanic. I season the heck out of everything.
Yeah.
If you put enough seasoning on anything, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be so good.
Yeah, I can eat any vegetable now.
I love that.
What are a few of your favorite like go-to meals or snacks?
Oh, that's so
Or
good.
both.
Okay, so go-to snacks, because I try to keep it as real as possible. You know, one of my favorite snacks for the kids is frozen blueberries. Have you ever done that? The wild frozen blueberries. You put them in a bowl, and I leave them straight up frozen. People are like, do you blend it? Nope. And it tastes like ice cream. My husband puts honey on it. I don't even do that with them.
Just eat the blueberries frozen?
Yeah, because they're cold and they're delicious. I have all my friends doing that now.
Oh my
Their kids love it, especially in the summer.
And your husband puts honey on
He
them?
puts honey on it sometimes, yeah. You don't have to, but that's one of my favorite.
Okay.
Because those are things that for me are like the biggest wins.
Yeah,
it's
how
healthy.
easy.
It's great. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. They're happy. I'm like, heck yes. The other thing I love is my Mexican pot roast. The reason I love that, see, these are these things that I put that I like to talk about, because yes, I make homemade meals, but that sucker, I get like 5-pound roast, 6-pound roast, sometimes 2. And it takes 4 or 5 hours to cook. But one, you hardly do anything. And I make that into everything. I make it into nachos. We eat it like in a bowl with some rice and green beans. I eat it and I make burrito tacos with it. Oh my God. It's so good. I mean, we eat on that sucker for like 4 days. So if I have a week that I know we're going to be so busy, it's perfect. I just get it out, warm it up, and I make it into another meal. So we're eating something that's kind of similar every day, but it's a little different. I love that one.
I've seen you make that in your Dutch oven. Yeah, that's really good.
Oh yeah, I love my Dutch oven. I use that thing all the time. But yeah, so I think it's just the way that you think about it. You know, I think it's just the way you think about it, and then go get inspired.
So how do you approach nutrition and wellness in a way that's grace-filled, not rigid or overwhelming?
Yeah.
Especially like with your kids.
Yeah.
Like, do they get... I mean, it's probably all they know, right?
It's all they know. You know, one of the things that I love this question, because a lot of people will tell me, well, I feel like my kids are missing out. I don't want them to feel bad. My kids don't feel any of those things. You know why? Because we teach them from a very young age that our bodies are our temple. What we put in them is important. Do you want to, like, for you to grow great and have great energy and take care of yourself, this is what we eat. When we put these things in our bodies, this is what happens. Hey, when we have red dye, the way that our brains are wired, it really makes it hard to focus, like super hard. When we eat too much sugar, it doesn't make us feel good. And you know what? They actually get a stomach ache and they don't like it. Like they know. My son will be like, oh, this is too sweet. Like they don't get upset. And I don't, it's not like, it would be different if I made my kids eat like rice cakes. And this is not like a diet type mentality. It's literally just choosing better options.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's a way of life. And so we eat all the great things.
I don't see anything that you ever put out looking diet to me.
No, not at all. I don't ever even use that word with my
growing
kids.
Up, diet was literally grilled chicken on a bed of lettuce.
Oh, yeah,
and no dressing.
No.
And green beans and a piece of fish for dinner. And no wonder I hate it.
Yeah, no. And that's what people think
that.
whenever they start thinking of eating healthy. And I love when they follow me, because that is absolutely not it.
No,
we
your food.
eat
I'm
really
like, I'm
good.
coming over.
Yeah.
We need to do some cooking segments together.
I would love that. Yeah.
We need to do some cooking segments. What is the mindset that you have when it comes to splurging and treats?
I guess.
How do you splurge and treat with your kids?
Well, okay. So, for example, if we're going out, we don't go out for ice cream, like ice cream. We'll go to Nectar. Have you ever had Nectar?
Yeah,
it's
I love
delicious.
Nectar.
That's
Yeah.
our thing.
Yeah.
There are certain ice creams, or I'll make it at home. We don't, because we know we're not going to feel good afterwards. So, like, it's kind of one of those things. Even the mentality of like, oh, well, every once in a while with certain things. Like obviously if they want to have a cookie at grandma's house, that's fine. We don't eat sugar all day, and I intentionally make sure that it's not sneaking in a lot of areas in our home. But a lot of our splurges, we either make ourselves, and nowadays, I mean, oh my God, we have so many options. Like Whole Foods, there's bakeries everywhere that are making things with honey, or they're making things that are easier to digest. I feel like it's not that difficult, I guess is what I'm saying. And we eat a lot of fruit. And I know some people say that, I don't know, We eat a lot of fruit. So
Okay, so there's so many opinions out
Oh,
there
yeah.
that I cannot stand because it
I
brings
know.
so much confusion. Fruit's full of sugar. You shouldn't be eating fruit. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
stop. If
Yeah,
it's
I don't-
whole and it's
Yeah.
from the earth,
I agree.
eat it. I
Yeah.
mean, because it's so. Okay, I'm not even going to get started on that. That
No, it's
drives
very
me crazy because
confusing.
it brings so much confusion to people and they
It
just don't
does.
do anything.
It does. I try to tell people, look,
Like my
if
grandma
it's
used
real,
to say, eat real butter.
Oh,
Stop
yeah.
eating margarine.
Yes, yes.
Drink whole milk. Stop
100%.
drinking that fake stuff. Like,
Yeah.
don't eat sucralose. My grandma used to say, eat the real thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the real thing. Stop doing substitutes.
Absolutely.
Because that is
Yeah.
what's killing us. It's the substitutes.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
it's the quest to be super skinny. And it's rather to
Yeah.
be super healthy.
It's being super healthy. It's so our mind can be clear. It's so we can be full of life and do all the things that we want and have fun.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah.
This has been so amazing. Do you feel so inspired?
I do.
Oh
I
my
feel
gosh,
like I'm
thank
not
you.
going to
Really
eat
do.
out again for the rest of my life.
Oh, but you can
But you
eat
know
out.
what? I know. I'm just kidding. I'm being. I'm
Do you
exaggerating.
eat out a lot or no? Not.
We
just
don't
not
eat out a lot,
really.
but I feel like I've gotten pretty good when I go places that I feel comfortable eating. Like I don't go to McDonald's,
Yeah.
but like there's certain restaurants that I feel like I can go, and you can always order something decent. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, nowadays
Yeah.
it's
pretty easy. Yeah.
Well, and also, I love that place you go to in town to get all your meat. You get your meat from an actual
Yes,
farmer.
Z-Bar Cattle. Hey.
Z-Bar Cattle.
Z-Bar
yeah,
Cattle in Keller. I love
Keller.
them.
Yeah, and there's another one in Flower Mound also.
Yeah, I think there's one in Argyle maybe.
Yeah, there's one in Argyle
Yeah,
now.
yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
I
so
love
find
them.
a local farmer or a
That's
local
so
butcher
great.
that actually farms
Yeah.
their stuff.
Because I know
I
what they
need to
feed
start-
their cows.
Yes.
It's better than organic because sometimes we don't even know what that means.
Okay,
and
organic
so
sauce is
that's
power
it's a
anymore.
whole other conversation. But back to your question.
Yeah,
Zebra cattle.
yeah. So let's go to the last three questions that I think are the power punch questions.
Okay.
That I really, if I want to reward people for actually listening all the way to the end of the podcast because these are the most important questions always at the end of my podcast. Okay. If you could speak into the heart of a tired mama right now who's listening, what would you want her to know?
I would say that you don't have to earn rest.
Oh, could somebody just stop the record right now? Let's just, everybody take a moment.
Yeah.
Let's just repeat that.
I know. Yeah.
That has to be a quote. That's
Yeah.
going to be moms listening. I want to like create a dun da da dun. Say it again, Alyssa, for the
Yes.
people in the back.
That's so funny. Yeah, you don't have to earn rest. And
Come
I feel
on.
like if you're not a mom, you might hear that and think like that's so ridiculous. But there have been so many times. Also, I hit the mic with my face. So
That's okay. It's okay. You're good, girl.
there's been so many times where I have literally not sat down all day because I feel like I didn't do enough.
Yep.
You know?
That's right.
I mean, how insane. And you know what shifted my perspective on this is that I think don't you love seeing your kids enjoy their life? Don't you love seeing them
Yes.
relax?
Yes.
I think like
and so happy.
and
yeah.
so happy. Like, oh, I'm gonna relax and take a nap. Oh, honey, here's a blanket.
Yes,
you know, like,
yeah.
oh my God. If my children ever were like running around, they looked exhausted, and then I said, honey, go sit down, take a break. Oh, I can't. Why? Well, I can't. I don't feel like I deserve it. I'd be
Right.
like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to handle that.
Right.
And that's how the Lord thinks of us.
That's right.
And
That's
that's how
right.
he thinks of us. And I think that a lot of our problems would be fixed if we would just learn how to rest.
That's
And
right.
that doesn't mean you need to take a 5-hour
So
nap.
good.
I mean, honey, sit down.
That's good.
Make a cup of coffee, take a few deep breaths, do
Right.
something you enjoy.
Watch a show if
Watch
that's
a
what you
show.
want.
Yeah.
Just check
Yes.
out for 30 minutes or an
Yes.
hour and just let it be about you.
Yes.
And even if you have to schedule it on
Yes.
your day, schedule 3
Absolutely.
to 4 p.m. or 2 to 3 p.m. or whatever your hour is, that's your rest time.
Absolutely. One of the things I do, because obviously, I mean, I have my children with me 24/7. We don't have a babysitter. We just don't. And I will listen to audiobooks while I cook a lot because I love to read and I don't have time to sit and read a lot of times, but I don't want to miss out. So I'll intentionally have my kids playing during that time or doing something. And I have one ear off so I can hear them and the other one right here. And I listen to my favorite books and I'm cooking. And it's like, I enjoy cooking, but I also love listening. And it's just that little something for me.
What
For me,
creates
it's
a moment
rest.
for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel rested. I feel recharged.
That's amazing. What legacy do you hope that your children remember most from your home and the way that you lived?
Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Also, I don't want to cry. Okay.
Well, your daughter's already starting it by saying, I want to
know.
be just like you.
Oh my God, I love her so much. Yeah.
That should be goals for all moms, is for
yeah.
your daughters to say, I want to be just like you.
Yeah.
Or your sons to say, I want to find someone just like
Oh,
you.
I know. Well, they still,
Yeah.
my youngest still thinks he's going to marry me. So we're still at that stage. She's so little. Remember? I'm going to marry you, mommy. I'm like, oh, God. One day he was looking at daddy and he goes, my husband, sorry. And he's like, how come you only get to marry mommy? I'm like, oh, my God. Okay, I have to say this. My son, Josiah, my artist, the other night, he said, he was looking around. I said, honey, what are you looking for? And he's gonna be like, Mom. He's in the corner. I go, what are you looking for? He goes, oh, there it is. He goes, what? I said, I'm looking for my heart. It's right there. I found it. I was like, what? He's been trying to come up with these sweet sayings for me. So he's been saying them all. Oh my God, it's so cute.
I love that so much.
Anyways, just so my future daughter-in-laws know, my sons love me a lot. Okay. So yeah, I have another goal of like hoping that one day I'm like, it's okay, honey. I'll teach you how to make his favorite meal. I'll help you. Like, let me help. It's not the way my mom eats it.
Your daughter-in-laws are going to be.
Oh, I'm going to love them.
They're going to be
besties.
drawn to your husband, and they're going to want to love him and support him.
Yes, they will.
In the way that you did,
Yeah.
because you created a great kid. You know.
I love them. So yeah, I want them to know that. I want them to know that they don't earn love. Like, they're loved by me. I tell them all the time, I love you no matter what. Good, bad, happy, sad, mistakes, no mistakes. You can't, my love never changes. Like, I want them to know that home is their safe place. I want them to love their life.
Yep.
I think that one of my superpowers is teaching my kids how to celebrate things like a random Tuesday. Like, people say, oh, well, you just romanticize. Well, why not romanticize life? Like, it's such a gift, and I want my children to enjoy life.
I think back to Alyssa, I'm speaking to myself. Everything you've just described is with so much intention and so much gold. And I can tell you how many years I spent back in the day being so stressed out and being so worried and angry and frustrated about anything that could fly past my head. It could be money, it could be our business, it could be another, storm we were in, and how much focus I gave that instead of the intention of creating life. And I think somebody listening right now really needed to hear what you said about that intention that you're creating. And so my last question is, if you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
Oh, that's really good.
I feel like you've covered a lot of that conversation, but just like what would that one thing be that you tell your younger self?
I think I would tell her, okay, this is what I would say. I would say, you and your husband define what success looks like to you. I think that's something that even now, like we just said that this week, because that's a powerful statement. For example, at the early days of building our business, we were in a mastermind and we were so excited and we had all these dreams, and these people are like, we're going to make $10 million in the next so many years and all of that. And you're like, yeah, I want those things, as I'm a big goal-oriented person. But we had to stop and say, okay, but what does success look like for us? Why did we get into business? That it's because we want time with our kids. That's not everybody's goal, and that's okay. But because that's not our goal, we're not going to be gone and out of the house. We're not going to be pushing as hard because our goal is here. And I think understanding what success looks like in our home for us, success looks like us having dinner together at the table. Success looks like me being home in the morning to give my kids my kids in the morning. I don't know when this stops, and I hope it doesn't, but I hug each one of them. Like, they come and hug us, big bear hugs, long, solid hugs. Well, I don't want to miss that. I want to be able, my husband and I want to be able to pick up and leave and go on a trip whenever we want. Like, that's our version of success. And it's okay if you want to be the number one book selling whatever and you're willing to put in those hours, do you. But I wasn't. And I think the struggle became when I was trying to be certain thing, like in our business and our goals, but my definition of success was over here. So there was this constant friction, of comparing myself to even the season that I was in, going back to that too. Like, I think moms comparison, it's funny because anytime I ever heard that, I always only considered it in the way of people look, because how I heard it growing up. Don't compare. I don't do that. I'm not thinking that way. But what I am doing is comparing our lifestyle or what we're doing or what you're doing versus me, or you're doing too much. Like, someone even might, that's why I said what I said earlier. Someone might look and say, oh, well, you're making content and you're homeschooling and you're this. Yeah, but I just told you I did it in one day.
Right.
So it's not because I'm superwoman. It's because I really want to do this and I really feel like it's the right time, but I also will not sacrifice on certain things. And so it's a conversation we have a lot in our home. Like, what does success look like for us this season? Maybe it looks like I don't want to go anywhere on the weekend. Maybe it looks like not getting to go on the trips with your friends. I mean, there's so many things. And so I feel like there was so much pressure to be a certain way or to keep up with certain things when I was younger.
Yeah.
Building, having dreams, having goals.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's powerful.
That's the most powerful thing, I think, is defining your own version of success. I'm going to adopt that into my life right this very moment because we are redefining our idea of success. I want to speak to moms listening, and I know you've been so inspired by all of what Alyssa has shared. I'm going to ask her to share with you in just a moment all the things that she's got available for you as a resource to actually begin to take, I know your heart is on fire, to take all of what you've heard and actually apply it to your life. But I want to leave you with this one thing that I want you to really consider. And that is a picture of a plant or a part of your outdoor gardening bed that is dry and dead and shriveled up, and the flowers are gone, and it's nothing but dead branches. And then I want you to envision with me a flower bed that is just full of beauty, full of green, lush, beautiful colors that these plants are providing. And that is the comparison between, and then moms, I'm speaking to you, between watering and nurturing the plants and not doing that. So the ones that are dead and shriveled up are the plants that nobody's watering and has outside in the sun way too much or in the wrong position. And the other lush green plant full of color is the one that represents proper care, attention, nurturing, and watering. And that's the difference of what your family will look like, whether you are nurturing your own family and watering your own family or not. When you are not watering your family, and somebody needs to say this because everybody tiptoes around this, but when you are not the one watering and nurturing your family, your crops look dead. Your flower beds look dead. You don't have the vibrant life and the color and the lushness that you get to have whenever you pay attention to those flower beds and you water them and you cultivate them and nurture them. So if you're looking, there went my glasses. If you're an empty nester, if your kids are grown and gone and they're not speaking to you, because I hear so many parents reach out to me and say, my kids aren't speaking to me. Or if you're looking at your life right now and you're thinking, this is not at all what I wanted it to be. I really wish I had done things differently. I feel like it's too late. It's never too late. Yeah. Wherever you're at now, you can replant new seeds and you can start watering and nurturing those seeds. And with watering and nurturing and prayer, you will see a harvest come up in your life. And it might not look how you think it should look, but I want to encourage you, if you're motivated at all or something just moved around in you while listening to Alyssa, reach out to her, follow her on social media, reach out to her and start making an intention to change your life and go towards where your heart is pulling you. It doesn't matter about the money and the success and all the things. I'm all about building your dreams, but not at the expense of your family. Because when you're not at home with your fingerprints on your family, then the family is not growing, it's not vibrant, it's not nurturing. And I'm going to stand on that because I truly believe that you can have your job, you can have your career, but you must focus on your children and your family first, because that is going to be what feeds your soul. It's going to be what nurtures you and takes you all the way in to the end of your life with a smile on your face. So I hope that you receive that. I hope that you understand my heart is pure, because I know I've done both. I've been hugely successful in business and I've been a stay-at-home mom, and nothing gives me more gratitude and more heart warmth than being in my home with my family. And so, Alyssa, tell everybody how they can find you.
Yes.
And tell everybody about your Spark program.
Okay, awesome. So you can find me on Instagram. It's at Alyssa Marie Hidalgo. I know, that's a mouthful. I'm also just recently started my YouTube channel. So I have a whole homeschool series for people because they're always asking me, how do I homeschool? Mm-hmm. I made it short and sweet because, we don't have a lot of time.
Right.
We're moms.
Right.
So I try to cover all of the most common questions that people ask me. And next week, actually, I have a new thing I'm launching. It's called the Spark System. It's a lot of everything we talked today. It's not another to-do list. It's not another thing that you have to do. It's just a way to show up intentionally in your home. It's 7 rhythms that I realize that I do in my own life all the time that I put into practice that I think is going to be beautiful. It's free. It's a gift for moms. I'm so excited for it to come out. It's what I wish I had years ago. And what I love the most about it is I really feel like when people read it, you're going to see yourself in it. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like you're going to see yourself in it. You're like, I feel exactly that way, you know, and it's okay. How to have those small connected moments.
Yep.
Again, it's all about spark, that quick moment, that quick thought of intention. And with everything we said today, I just want to say, I want to say this last thing. I know sometimes people hear people talk like this and they say, yeah, but that's easy for you to say. Yeah, that's easy to just say, okay, take a deep breath or whatever. But it takes time.
That's
and
right.
repeating the same thing over and
That's
over
good.
again. And
Yeah.
you'll be shocked if you just start with a small step. I love small changes. That's what the Spark system is about. It's small things to do every day, but it
Yeah.
really does make the biggest impact in our life. So
it really does.
yeah,
It really does.
yeah.
But you first have to have an intention.
exactly.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I know that you are feeling inspired no matter what season you're in. You can learn from Alyssa and all the things that she has for you. I just think, you know, I'm going to say it all the time, is if you don't change your thinking, you're never going to change your life. So start changing your thinking and you can change your life. And always remember, everything that you need is already within you.